Healthy soil isn't just dirt, it's a living, breathing foundation for everything that grows. Inside every handful there's an entire world of microorganisms, nutrients, and organic matter working together to support plant life. But here's the reality. Conventional gardening methods like using synthetic fertilizers and constant tilling are stripping this vital resource of what it needs to thrive. Over time, these practices drain the soil of nutrients, break down its structure, and leave it vulnerable to erosion and loss of biodiversity. The good news is, you don't need to rely on harsh chemicals or expensive solutions to bring your soil back to life. There's a simple, natural approach that can restore soil health and transform the way your garden grows. What if I told you that the real secret to a thriving garden isn't hidden in pricey store-bought products or complicated treatments, but right in the plants you might already have? Herbs are often thought of as just kitchen staples or decorative touches, but their impact goes far beyond flavor and appearance. These plants hold an overlooked ability to restore and maintain soil health, making them a powerful tool for anyone looking to build a more resilient garden. Soil forms the base for everything that grows, supporting roots, storing water, and providing nutrients. But when we rely on heavy tilling or chemical fertilizers, we disrupt the natural systems that keep soil alive. Over time, these habits break down soil structure, reduce its ability to hold nutrients, and harm the microscopic organisms that keep everything in balance. According to the United Nations, about a third of the world's soils are already degraded. This means less productive gardens, weaker plants, and a chain reaction that affects the wider environment. The scale of this problem might feel discouraging, but there's a practical solution that doesn't require special equipment or advanced knowledge. Certain herbs like comfrey, alfalfa, and mint have properties that help heal and rebuild soil. Comfrey, for example, sends deep roots far below the surface, pulling up nutrients that other plants can't reach. When its leaves break down, they release those nutrients back into the upper layers, making them available to the rest of your garden. Alfalfa and clover are known as nitrogen fixers. They work with bacteria in the soil to convert nitrogen from the air into a form plants can use, naturally enriching the earth without synthetic inputs. Herbs also support the web of life beneath the surface. Their roots create channels that allow air and water to move freely, reducing compaction. Some, like yarrow and chamomile, attract beneficial insects and stimulate microbial activity, which helps break down organic matter and release nutrients. Studies show that gardens using these kinds of regenerative practices can see a significant increase in soil organic matter, sometimes up to 40%. This leads to softer, more fertile soil that holds water better and supports a wider range of plant life. Herbs aren't just passive additions to a garden, they're active participants in restoring balance and creating a healthier environment. By weaving them into your planting strategy, you set the stage for a system that not only grows strong plants but also repairs the ground they grow in. This idea forms the foundation of a broader gardening method that puts soil health and sustainability at the center. Regenerative gardening is a different way of thinking about how we grow food and care for the land. Instead of just focusing on what we can take from the soil, this approach looks at how we can give back and restore what's been lost. Regenerative gardening is a holistic system that rebuilds soil health, increases biodiversity, and helps create a more sustainable food supply by working with natural processes rather than against them. Traditional gardening methods often rely on quick fixes, synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, and constant tilling. These tools may seem effective at first, but they come with hidden costs. Over time, they break down the structure of the soil, kill off helpful microorganisms, and strip away vital nutrients. The result is ground that becomes less fertile and more dependent on artificial inputs. This cycle of depletion doesn't just affect your plants, it also leads to bigger problems like increased water runoff, reduced water retention, and the release of carbon into the atmosphere, which contributes to climate change. Regenerative gardening uses a set of practices designed to reverse these problems. By skipping the tiller and leaving soil undisturbed, you protect the networks of fungi and bacteria that help plants access nutrients. Cover crops, such as clover or vetch, are planted during the off-season to keep soil covered, prevent erosion, and add organic matter as they break down. Composting returns nutrients to the earth, while mulching helps the soil hold on to moisture, leading to less water use overall. Research shows that gardens using regenerative methods can use up to 30% less water and improve water infiltration rates by up to 150% over 5 years. Herbs fit naturally into this approach. Their roots help break up compacted soil, and as their leaves and stems decompose, they add organic material that feeds soil life. Some herbs even work with soil bacteria to pull nitrogen from the air, making it available to other plants. These small actions, planting, mulching, letting organic matter build up, create a chain reaction that supports healthier plants, richer soil, and a more resilient garden ecosystem. Adopting regenerative gardening isn't about complicated systems or expensive tools. It's about making choices that support the whole garden, above and below the surface. The next step is to look at which plants are especially good at this work. Some herbs are more than just flavorful additions, they're key players in keeping your soil alive and productive. When it comes to improving your soil, certain herbs stand out for their ability to repair, protect, and enrich the ground. These plants don't just fill empty spaces, they work quietly in the background, supporting the health of your entire garden. Instead of reaching for synthetic fertilizers, you can let these herb allies handle much of the heavy lifting, building fertility and structure from the roots up. Legumes like alfalfa, red clover, peas, and beans are some of the most effective nitrogen-fixing plants you can grow. With the help of specialized bacteria living on their roots, these herbs take nitrogen from the air and convert it into a form that plants can use. As legumes grow, they store this nitrogen in their tissues, and when you cut them back or let them die off, the nutrients return to the soil. This process makes legumes a reliable, natural source of nitrogen, giving your garden a steady supply of one of the most important elements for plant growth. Comfrey is another standout. Its long taproots dig deep into the soil, pulling up minerals like potassium, calcium, and phosphorus that other plants can't reach. When you chop comfrey leaves and use them as mulch or add them to compost, those nutrients are released right where your other plants need them most. Comfrey also helps break up compacted soil, improving drainage and root development. Yarrow works in a similar way, mining potassium and calcium and speeding up compost decomposition. You can plant yarrow along borders or pathways where its deep roots and nutrient cycling benefit the whole garden. Mint, garlic, and chives contribute in their own ways. Mint enhances compost breakdown and improves soil structure, though it's best grown in containers to keep it from spreading. Garlic adds phosphorus and potassium to the soil and helps balance sulfur levels while also deterring pests. Chives break down into organic matter that binds soil particles and improves water retention. Borage, with its thick roots, aerates soil and accumulates minerals, and when it dies back, it leaves behind organic matter that feeds the soil. Marigolds, especially French marigolds, suppress harmful nematodes, making the soil healthier for whatever you plant next. Choosing the right mix of these herbs can set the stage for a garden that is both productive and self-sustaining. With a bit of planning, you can use these plants to create a system that supports itself, reduces your need for outside inputs, and keeps your soil in top condition year after year. The next step is to look at how you can put these ideas into practice, starting with understanding your own soil and selecting the best herbs for your space. Turning your space into a regenerative herb garden means making thoughtful choices about plants and practices that support the health of your soil. Start by looking closely at the ground you have. Notice if it's dense and heavy, light and sandy, or somewhere in between. This information helps you pick herbs that will thrive and improve your soil at the same time. For example, comfrey works well in compacted clay because its deep roots loosen the earth and bring up nutrients. In sandy soil, herbs like lemon balm or parsley are better suited. They help hold moisture and slow down water loss. Using a simple soil test kit gives you a clear picture of pH and nutrient levels, so you can match your plant choices to what your soil actually needs. Once you know your soil, you can plan how to arrange your herbs. Companion planting is a practical approach here. By growing different herbs and vegetables together, you create a more balanced ecosystem. Basil next to tomatoes can keep pests away and even improve the taste of your harvest. Beans and peas, which are legumes, add nitrogen to the soil, a nutrient that helps other plants grow stronger. Aromatic herbs like dill or cilantro attract helpful insects, which can keep harmful bugs in check naturally. This mix of plants helps your garden stay healthy without relying on chemicals. Soil preparation is just as important as plant selection. Adding compost to your beds boosts the organic matter and feeds the soil microbes that do the hard work of breaking down nutrients. Mulching with straw or wood chips keeps moisture in, blocks weeds, and keeps the soil temperature steady. These steps create the right environment for your herbs to take root and for the soil to stay active and fertile. Rotating where you plant your herbs each year helps keep the soil from getting tired and reduces the buildup of pests. Crop rotation, combined with companion planting, means your garden doesn't get stuck in the same routine and your soil stays healthier for longer. The goal is to build a system where every part of the garden supports the others. With a bit of planning and regular care, your herb garden can do more than just produce leaves for your kitchen. It can help repair the ground and create a cycle of health that lasts through every season. This kind of gardening starts small, but its impact reaches far beyond the garden beds. Healthy soil is more than just the base for your plants, it supports the entire garden ecosystem. By choosing regenerative gardening, you're not only helping your own harvests, but you're also making a real difference for the environment. For example, the USDA estimates that widespread use of no-till methods and cover crops could offset a significant portion of farm-related emissions. On a smaller scale, gardeners who use cover crops and compost often see richer harvests and healthier soil in just a couple of seasons. To get started, test your soil to see what it needs most. Then try planting one dynamic accumulator herb, like comfrey this season. Taking this first step can set your garden on the path to regeneration and healthier growth. If you found this video helpful, be sure to check out our other gardening guides. Top 7 companion plants that keep pests away naturally, and regenerative gardening for thriving plants. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on more sustainable gardening tips. Your support helps us bring you more ways to grow healthy, resilient gardens naturally. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.